Oh, like that, okay.
Quiet recording. Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say, how do you record your own?
Alright.
Hello everyone, and today I'm going to be telling you the story of a man who rose to the top from selling crack off the streets to world-renowned musician. His name was Biggie Smalls, and I'll be telling you his story. I chose him because of his music and his story over his life. Even though he died, his music lived on past his own life, and I'd like to tell you how not only it affected him while he was living, but the world after he was living. Biggie Smalls was born and raised in Brooklyn. He was the only child, and he was raised by a single parent. His father was never part of his life because he was married and didn't tell Biggie's mother that he was married. He started selling crack around the age of 12. No one really knows when he started, but he would sell up and down the streets of Brooklyn, which is how he made most of his money because his mom was a single parent. His mother didn't know that he was selling crack until he was first arrested when he was 17. He was arrested for possession of crack and paraphernalia, and he also was on probation for weapons possession. He spent 9 months in prison, in which most of the time he spent writing, rapping lyrics, and began to make sound of his music. After 9 months, he was released from prison on bail, which is when he decided to change his life for the better and begin his music career. He first got his music career by one of his friends introducing him to Sean Combs, also known as Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy introduced him to Uptown Records, where his first record deal was. He joined a band called Heavy D and the Boys, and he released his demo tape to them, and that's when they signed him onto the band. Shortly after that, he was kicked out of the band because Sean Combs was fired from Uptown Records. He was only known as Biggie Smalls from Uptown Records, which he soon was fired from because his friend was fired. He signed on to Bad Boy Records from Sean Combs. They created their own business together as partners and created their own record label. Biggie's first solo song was called Juicy, and in the first week it was released, he got number 27 on top of music charts, and it was later platinumized shortly after his death. His first solo album, Ready to Die, was released months after, and it eventually reached gold and platinum, and was later reached diamond in 2000. Shortly after he released that, he started his side band, Junior Mafia, which was a group of his background singers, including Little Kim, who became a famous singer shortly after his death. Some of his famous songs that reached gold and platinum were Get Money and Player's Anthem. One of the big things about Biggie Smalls that people remember him for is his big East Coast, West Coast feud, which started off when a well-known singer, Tupac, who was his friend at the time, went to go visit him at the music studio to hang out and possibly be part of a song with him. When Tupac entered the lobby to his recording studio, he was robbed and shot and was rushed to the hospital. Tupac lived on, but he blamed Biggie for his robbery, and he never talked to him. Shortly after, he released a song called Hit 'Em Up, in which he admitted that he had slept with Biggie's ex-wife, Faith Evans, who was another famous singer. Shortly after, they got a divorce. Tupac was later killed in September, unknown who was his murderer, but most of Tupac's fans and family blamed Biggie for his death, which only fueled the East Coast West Coast fight. On March 5th, Biggie said he was in fear of his life the following year. He had said he was going to hire more security because he didn't feel safe. 4 days later, after leaving the club, Biggie was shot in a drive-by shooting, or a side drive-by shooting, which he was shot 4 times in the chest and died at the hospital at 1:13 a.m. Biggie Smalls only had one solo CD at that point, and his well-known CD, Life After Death, was released 15 days after his death. It hit top of the charts the week it was released, and later became platinum. Biggie Smalls was an inspiration to many artists, and is still an inspiration to artists this day, such as Little Kim, who was part of one of his original bands. Soulja Boy and Wale have all admitted that he has influenced their career and helped them out. I've told you about his career and his inspirational impact on hip-hop and the hip-hop community, and he's well known for his work and his music, and he's also well known for his dispute over East Coast and West Coast. In the ending, I will end you with what Chris's mother said in the movie Notorious, which was released in 2008. His mother, at the end of the movie, was with the casket bearers as they were taking his casket to the hospital, and it showed the crowd looking at them as they went down the road, and his mother said, "My son may have died, but his story will live on." A person in the crowd turned on a radio, and in that moment I could hear his voice, and he was alive again. Thank you.
That was very good.
That was good.
Yeah,
Quite
actually,
a
there was
difference from the
very,
last time.
it was very, very informative. That was an interesting subject.
Did you want to come see Paul?